How does it feel to be a pawn in someone else's game? You offered her your heart, raw and beating, and she spun it like a roulette wheel, laughing as it landed on lose. But karma doesn't play fair, and the rules are about to snap like bones. You memorized her smirk, the way she honed your devotion into a blade and sliced you open for sport. Now the board is flipped, the dice are loaded, and every lie she whispered, every tear she weaponized, will boomerang back in a symphony of screams. She thought love was a game. Watch as the player becomes the prey, and revenge writes its own brutal rules. No mercy, no escape, just the sweet, suffocating sound of her own heart shattering. Checkmate. The power of disappearing without a trace is the strongest move you'll ever make. Walking away without a sound. She expected drama, long emotional messages, pleas for reconciliation. She thought you'd break, that you'd come running the second she pulled away. But what happens when you give her nothing? Imagine a magician performing the same trick repeatedly, making a coin disappear, then bringing it back. At first the audience watches, but over time it's predictable, unimpressive. Then, one night, in the middle of his act, the magician tosses the coin into the air and walks away. No explanation, no final reveal, just gone. Suddenly, that little coin is all they can think about. That's exactly what happens when you remove yourself from her life without warning, without closure, without a single word. She didn't value you when she had easy access to you. She assumed you'd always be there, waiting, responding, proving. But the moment you go completely silent, that's when the panic sets in. People don't regret losing you when you cry for them. They don't feel it when you beg, when you try to explain, when you strive to make them understand. No, they regret losing you when they realize they can never reach you again. She'll check her phone. Nothing. She'll post something just to see if you're watching. Silence. If you react, she'll test the waters, throw out a weak, "Hey!" and for the first time, she won't get a response. And that's when it hits her. Her game only works when you play along. She thought she had you figured out, believed she could push, pull, disappear, reappear, and you'd always be there, waiting, hoping, responding. But here's what she never understood. Her game only worked because you played along. She ignored your texts. You double-texted. She disappeared for days. You made excuses and forgave. She sent a lazy hey after ghosting. You replied instantly as if nothing happened. Each time you proved she could treat you however she wanted, and you'd still be there. She never had to try, never had to show up fully, never had to truly commit because you made it easy. But what happens when you stop? When you finally step back and refuse to play? Imagine standing before a claw machine at an arcade. You keep inserting coins, trying to grab the prize, but every time the claw lets go. It's frustrating, but you keep playing. Why? Because you almost had it. That's her game. She gives you just enough to keep you hooked, just enough to make you think you're close, but she never lets you win. The moment you walk away, refuse to keep trying, something shifts. Suddenly you're the prize, and now she's the one standing there, wondering why her old tricks don't work anymore. She'll test you, send a random text, maybe like one of your posts, just to see if she still has you on the hook. But this time you don't bite, and that's when she realizes the game is over. Stop rewarding her weak efforts. That doesn't mean she won't try again, because now she's testing you. She doesn't miss you. She misses the control. She misses knowing that with a simple "hey," she could pull you right back in, that with a random like on your post, she could make you wonder, overthink, hope. She's not lying awake at night regretting how she treated you. She's just checking to see if you're still available. Every time you respond, even just once, you prove to her that she still has access to you, that she can put in zero effort and still get your time, energy, attention. No real apology, no change, just a half-hearted check to see if you're still there. Imagine you're a vending machine. Every time she pushes a button, she gets exactly what she wants. No effort required, no appreciation, just instant gratification. But what happens when the machine stops working? At first, she taps it, tries again, maybe even kicks it out of frustration. Eventually, she walks away because she only valued you when you didn't require effort. She only wanted you when she didn't have to earn you. The moment she realizes you're no longer free access, that's when she starts to feel it. So from now on, if she doesn't come correct, she doesn't come in at all. Let her feel the coldness she once gave you. When she realizes you're not playing along anymore, she's going to feel it. She remembers how it used to be. No matter what she did, ignored your messages, took hours, even days to respond, kept you guessing. You were always there, always reaching out, always trying, always keeping the connection alive. Now, it's her turn to feel what that's like. Imagine standing outside in the freezing cold, knocking on a door, waiting for someone to let you in. You knock again. No answer. You wait, shivering, convincing yourself, maybe they didn't hear me. So you knock again. Still nothing. At some point, the cold becomes unbearable, so you do the only thing you can. You walk away. That's exactly what she's going to feel when she realizes the warmth she took for granted is gone, replaced by the chill of your absence. When she reaches out and you're no longer there, she'll check her phone, expecting your usual response, expecting you to still care, expecting you to still be waiting. But all she gets is silence. At first, she won't believe it. She'll try again, maybe a casual, "How have you been?" or a vague, insincere apology, just to see if you'll take the bait. But when you don't respond, that's when it hits her. This isn't revenge. This isn't a game. This is balance. This is you finally respecting yourself enough to stop chasing someone who left you in the cold. Now it's time to take things even further, because nothing makes them suffer more than realizing you're not just gone, you're untouchable. She thought you'd be stuck, thought you'd be waiting, replaying old memories, hoping she'd come back, thought she had time. But what she never saw coming was your transformation. You hit the gym, not to make her jealous, but to feel strong in your own skin. You chased your dreams, not to impress her, but to build a life that excites you. You upgraded your mindset, your confidence, your entire energy, not because you want her back, but because you finally see your own worth. One day, out of nowhere, she'll check. Maybe she'll hear about you from a friend. Maybe she'll scroll through your profile, expecting to see the same person she left behind. But instead, she'll see someone she can never have again. And that's when it'll hit her. Not when you cried, not when you begged, not when you tried to make her understand, but when she realizes she's no longer even a thought in your world. By then, you won't even care. And that's exactly why you don't owe her a single word. She never explained why she pulled away, never gave you a real reason for the mixed signals, the disappearing acts, the way she treated you like an option. She just expected you to deal with it. So tell me, why do you feel the need to explain yourself now? She didn't sit you down and say, "Hey, just so you know, I'm about to stop answering your texts for no reason." She didn't give you closure. She didn't care how it made you feel. She just walked away and expected you to accept it. So now you do the same. Imagine watching a movie, completely invested, waiting for the big reveal, the moment everything makes sense, and then, out of nowhere, the screen fades to black. No explanation, no resolution, just gone. Your mind races. You rewind, trying to piece it together. What happened? Did I miss something? You keep thinking about it because the mind hates unfinished stories. And that's exactly what happens when you disappear without a word. She expects you to explain, to send that long message about how much she hurt you, to give her one last conversation so she can justify her actions, feel better about herself, and walk away guilt-free. But you don't give her that luxury, because if words could make her care, she would have cared while you were still there. So you let her wonder, let her replay everything in her mind. Let the silence do the talking, because silence speaks louder than explanations ever will. And now, you take it even further. You don't just go silent. You erase her access completely. See, even if you're not talking to her, she still feels your energy. She knows you're watching. She knows you still think about her. She knows she still occupies space in your mind. And that's why she doesn't regret losing you, because in her mind, she hasn't. She posts something and a part of her wonders, did he see this? She throws out a random text, fully expecting you to respond, maybe not right away, but eventually. She believes deep down you're still there. But the second you go completely silent, the moment she realizes she has zero access to your emotions, that's when the panic sets in. She'll check her messages. Nothing. She'll post something just to see if you react. Silence. She'll go through her followers, wondering if you're still watching her life unfold, but you're gone. That's when it gets real for her. Not when you argue, not when you beg, not when you try to prove your worth, but when she realizes she no longer exists in your world. So from now on, you stop checking, you stop reacting, you stop caring, because nothing will haunt her more than knowing that the man who once gave her everything has now given her nothing. And that's exactly why she will come back. Not because she's changed, not because she suddenly realized your worth, but because she wants to see if she still has access. She'll test the waters, maybe a random, "How have you been?" Maybe a fake apology, just convincing enough to make you hesitate. Maybe she'll even tell you she misses you. Don't fall for it. She played with you once. That's all she gets. She assumed she could leave, disappear when it was convenient, then walk back in like nothing happened. She thought the door would always be open, but not this time. Because the moment you let her back in, she wins. She knows she can hurt you, walk away, ignore you for weeks, months, and still you'll take her back. And once she knows that, she'll never truly respect you. So when she knocks, when she tries to slip back into your life like she never left, she finds nothing but silence. And that's when she'll finally understand she lost you forever. But here's the truth. You don't even need her to understand. You don't need her regret. You don't need her guilt. You don't need her to wake up one day and realize she made a mistake. Because the ultimate revenge is to stop caring altogether. Not when you cry, not when you beg, not when you try to make her see how much she hurt you. No, she doesn't feel it then. Because as long as you're reacting, as long as you're still investing, she still has power. She wanted your emotions, love, anger, frustration. It didn't matter. Because if you're still thinking about her, if she can still get a rise out of you, she still exists in your world. But the second she becomes irrelevant, the second you hear her name and feel nothing, the second she realizes she's not even a passing thought in your mind, that's when she truly suffers. Because people don't regret losing you when you're hurting. They regret losing you when they realize they can never reach you again. And by the time she figures that out, you'll be too busy winning to even notice. The final move was never hers to make. Let her choke on the silence that follows the storm, the hollow echo of her own cruelty ricocheting back, unflinching. You built empires from the ashes she left you in, sharpened your scars into armor, and now her throne is rubble. Watch her.